Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 442 at scavengerlife.com.
So this is not the last podcast of the year. There's still one more next year.
Next week.
Next week, sorry. Yeah, next week. But I thought we would make this kind of like I wanted to talk about the year.
Yeah.
In general. We are currently in New York City. We've been here for several days. We're here for the whole week, which is awesome.
Yeah. More than the whole week.
Yeah, I mean, people that know us or have heard this podcast, we have friends here. They go out of town for Christmas, and then we come and cat sit for them. And
it's very luxurious.
Yeah, it's very much like a scavenger vacation. Yeah. It's great. I do want to thank the several people that sent us like Christmas presents. They sent us like little tips.
Christmas presents, aka money.
Right.
Yeah, we have a tip jar, and people have been so nice.
We actually, it went out and had like a nice meal here in New York City.
So that's a nice break.
Know that it was spent well. So this year, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I mean, we're even just doing this for ourselves, not even just for the podcast. So let's think about this year. Last January, wintertime.
Yep.
What was happening?
The apartment was not done.
We were deep into renovations on this apartment that we were doing.
Yep.
And that really started taking a lot of our time.
Yep.
All of our focus. And that's when, I think this year we can say was kind of, I know it might not be the right word, but our store went into kind of semi-autopilot in a way.
Right.
Where we have not been feeding the beast as much as we normally would.
Yeah.
And we've been depending on our large inventory to carry us while we're busy with other things.
Yep.
Doesn't mean the store didn't take work.
Right.
Because as we know, it still did.
We still did stuff.
But we were not like we were in past times going to like an auction every week or going to thrift stores every week.
Yeah.
So we were doing these renovations, and our store has carried us throughout the whole year. You know, didn't do gangbusters as we've talked about, but has been able to pay our bills. We this year was the full year where we had a helper take all of our eBay photos.
Yep,
like basically every single one of them.
I mean. There were like a couple listings I took pictures of.
Right.
That's it.
And write our listings as well.
It's great.
Yep. Has she? Does she need to improve at all, or?
I mean, there's a little bit of things we need to figure out with the inventory. I mean, that's just us learning as well. Just like we put it in the custom label, but we also put it in the description. And where do we put it in the description? And like, just making sure that the numbers are right. You know, it's stuff like that that's like so simple and no big deal. I mean, other than that, it's pretty fluid. It's just like, this is how we do it. If there's something that I need her to do that's different, I just tell her and she's like, okay.
Yeah,
no big deal.
And I will say we kind of lucked out in a way with her, and also I think you've done a good job training her. You know, she wants a job that's only 3 to 12 hours a week, and like some weeks there is no work. Like
sometimes
we're gone. She's not working, and she's cool with that because she's like taking care of her mom.
And she has like other obligations.
Right.
But you're right. We did luck out with her, and I don't necessarily think it's just my training. Like the training is fine, but it really depends on the person. Like if I say I need it done like this, she's not offended. She's just like, cool. You know, I'm like, most of the time I'm like, I'm figuring this out too. Right. Like I've been doing this for over 10 years, but it's always different. It's always changing. Like we don't know what's best. Right. So she's fine with that. And she remembers what to do every time. And you're like, great.
And she's great. And she's smart and nice.
And she's like artistic. So she understands all the funky, weird stuff we have. And she thinks it's cool. You know, it helps that she's not just like, this is the weirdest world. She's an artist, so she's like, yeah, I get it, you know.
I will check out our listings, and I notice she'll like she'll take these like artistic photos of everything where she'll like lay them out in a way
Which
that,
I would never do that because I'm like, I'm just trying to move stuff.
Right.
But yeah, so it's nice. It looks like she's having fun, like with this stuff. So.
which is good.
Yeah, which as a person who also has jobs, like I need to have fun doing stuff too. So I'm like, go for it. Whatever artistic angle you want to do is fine.
I think I asked you this, but if we could give her more than 12 hours do you think she would want 12 hours?
I don't know, yeah.
Or I kind of feel like that's the perfect amount. I feel like if you do more than that, it would start to feel
like a grind. Yeah, I think she has other family obligations. Like her mom is like going through chemo or something. Not chemo. It's not chemo. Sorry. But it's like there's something that she's like, I have to like make sure my mom is cool. And so if I gave her more hours, I think she'd be like, I can't make it.
And she's never there for more than 3 or 4 hours.
4 hours max. So. And if she gets done early for the day, she's just like, I gotta go do stuff. So and that's great. Look, like there are times where she can't show up because she has a family obligation, and I'm like, cool, just come tomorrow. Like it's no big deal.
We were thinking about having a helper a while ago. I mean, and we would ask people. I even did an interview with a seller that hired people. I think he was hiring them off of Craigslist.
Sure.
And, my question had always been, aren't you afraid? You're basically showing them everything, teaching them everything.
They're going to steal your business.
And they're just going to go, and they're right down the street from you, and they're just going to start to shop at the same thrift stores and steal from you.
And that has not been the case for us at all. And it's so funny because both of our helpers, because I have someone helping me ship who also used to do eBay listings, I thought for sure she was going to just like up and start an eBay, but nope, not at all.
And it's exactly what we were told.
Yeah.
And I was just very untrustworthy of this answer, and that is there's just a lot of people that just want to show up,
do the work,
put some time in, and just give me some money, and I'm done.
Look, they see our warehouse,
right?
And they're like, number one, I don't have that. Number two, I don't want that.
Yeah.
It's like they get to come and do it and then leave.
Yeah.
And we have to deal with, everything else, which is no big deal to me.
Although I will say we do know another eBayer in our region who is a pretty big eBayer. Like they're like an estate sale company. And I talked to one of the guys that I used to work for them. Yeah. And he actually did exactly what we fear. He's become a full-on eBayer with selling clothes.
I mean, doesn't that make so much sense? It's like, why work for them when you could just make all the money? Right. But you have to put all the work in. I mean, you have to source it all. You have to do all the listings. You have to store it. You have to organize it. You have to deal with the customers. You're in charge of all.
I will say what that has bought us, and maybe you can chime in here. What that's bought us is just some breathing room. Like not having to take photos of everything that comes into the house is a big deal.
Oh, it's huge. I like giving her a bin of stuff or a pile of stuff, and then 2 days later it's done. I'm like, how amazing is this? Right. It's great. Right. I love it.
Right. And so it is kind of crazy this year that we haven't been scavenging just as much because we have now this like this pipeline.
Yeah.
Like we can use and I mean I will say like someone on a YouTube says they heard me say that we don't scavenge as much, and she was like, well, what's your business model if you're not like finding things and listing? I mean I will say it's a matter of perspective. Like, we're not going out and finding 300 items, a truckload of stuff every other week like we have in the past. It's more like we'll go out and we'll get like 30 items, So she's still taking pictures of stuff. It's just not as much.
I mean, there were only a handful of times where I was like, I don't have anything for you, or I'm traveling all year. Like I have a spreadsheet of all her hours, and she worked all the time, like we still had enough stuff. It just wasn't like a huge backlog. It was like, let's go get some stuff to, whatever.
And I bet we sell, even on our slowest month, we probably sell 200 items a month.
Yes.
It's just some months we put into our store just as much as we sell, know?
Right.
And to me, that feels like we're kind of on autopilot. So again, it's a perspective
Right.
kind of thing, because
Right.
you know, anyone that has heard our earlier podcast, I mean, we were all about very motivated.
Yeah, we were sourcing all the time.
We are growing our
Yeah,
inventory,
sure.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing was packing, and this is
Yes,
relatively
packing.
recently.
Yep.
2 months now.
I gotta look at the. I also
Yeah.
have a spreadsheet of hours, and I say what everybody does.
Right.
If it's like different than like listing on eBay, so I have to go back and see when we started packing. I want to say it was in September
Right.
because it was right before we went away for a week, and she was packing while we were
Wow.
away.
So it's even like
It was
3
September,
months.
yeah.
Wow. And again, that was another kind of mental.
Yes.
It's for us. It's always about like this mental hurdle that
It's
we
a
have to
huge
get over.
look. It's a huge hurdle because I was like, how is she going to find anything? And how is she not going to like overpay for shipping? Like I felt like I was the only one.
How could anyone do what I did?
Exactly. I'm like, how could anyone even understand the label printing? Because it's insane. It literally is insane.
Right.
You're like, here are 70 different options.
Right.
And she's like, what am I looking at? And I'm like, pick the cheapest one. Like,
And
that's what
I mean, and so again, people are like, "What does Jay even do?" So, how do you do? You just have to like. Does it tell you how much each one is on the drop down?
Yeah. The problem is the new shipping label. It's funny, they switched over to the new shipping labels right as I was training her. So I was like, I've literally never seen this page before, so bear with me here. The weird thing about it is like, you'll say, okay, this thing weighs, let's say for instance, 13 ounces. That's first class. But then there's a whole other clickable link that's like carrier packaging, which is like all the flat rates. It's just weird that it's not on the same page. Like,
Right.
it's like, yeah. So anyway, they changed that. It used to just be one big ass like drop down thing.
But I mean, going back to kind of what we're talking about. So you know, it's interesting.
mental
She's
health.
also younger. She's
30 something? 30.
She's 30,
And
and she has a
10
full time job, and she only comes 3 evenings a week, or
If that. Sometimes it's only 2.
late afternoon. And she comes for 2 hours at a time.
2 hours, yeah.
And we changed our handling to be 3 business
3
days.
days.
So that's the way she comes basically every other day, Monday, Wednesday,
Right,
Friday.
right, yeah.
And you know, and so it's fine. So and nothing goes out.
Yeah,
late.
like I think what's great about it too is like I don't mind shipping, I don't mind packing, but the fact that I just see stuff sell and I don't think twice, I'm just like, yeah, she'll do it when she gets here. Like I can do all these other things. Like I don't have to go out before my carrier comes. I don't have to go out before I go to bed because I have to leave early in the morning. I don't even think about it.
Right.
If there's something that I'm like, oh, I want that to go out right now because it was a high dollar item and I don't want them to be like,
and there
whatever,
have been,
you know?
I mean, and she has been packing delicate things, but
Yes.
there will be like kind
Yeah.
of super delicate things that sell, and you'll kind of go out and ship that as well.
I'll either do it or I'll do it with her so that I'm like, look
That's
how
better,
I'm
yeah.
doing, which is better.
Yeah.
But there are times where I'm like, you've already been here for an hour and a half.
Right.
I'm just gonna like, I'll just do this.
So-
you know? But
I mean, this is a momentous occasion as we sit here.
yes,
We are on vacation,
Yes.
and normally we change our handling time to like, you know,
10 days,
20 business days or something. And now
I didn't do that.
We did not change our
I was just
handling
like,
time
go over there.
because our helper is going over,
Yeah.
you know, every other day, and she is packing.
Yep.
And you're communicating with
Yep.
her just through text.
And a lot of stuff has been numbers now because I would say about a third of stuff has been numbers because it's been inventoried, stuff that's sold. But then I have like a mental map of where everything is. So I'll type a note. Okay, look on this shelf. Look in this bin. Look in the clothing building. Blah blah blah. She's found everything.
Right.
It's insane. I'm just like I can't believe it.
I think it's because
It's
I mean
amazing.
I do it too. I think that we can overcomplicate, or
Yes.
I don't know if it's like we give ourselves too much credit with how like difficult it is, but you know, it's all doable, and the people are smart.
But
you
look,
know?
like I picture me walking into someone else's
Right.
1,000-square-foot warehouse and them being like, "Yeah, nothing's inventoried. Go find it."
Well,
It's
look.
like what?
So we're about to talk about inventory, but
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be clear though. I mean, we've run our business like this for a decade.
Yeah.
And there has been no number on things, SKUs.
Exactly.
But we've always found things.
Yeah,
I think it's been 6 items we have not been able to find.
And then we found them eventually.
Thousands
yeah.
of and so like, there is a system.
Yeah.
And
there is a system. It's just not a number system. Yeah.
And so that's also great. I mean that's again one reason why I feel good about this a year, even though we haven't made as much maybe in past years.
Yeah.
I feel like our business is actually better than it has before because we put time and effort into like bringing other people into our business.
Yeah, and it helps. I mean, it helps us do other things.
Because I mean, I wonder. I mean, we talk a lot about a new person. You know, we're always like, if you're just getting started, you know, and then people come on a forum. I'm just getting started, and then people help them. I really wish I could hear more from kind of like old. Or not old people.
Old people.
Graybeards. You know, like people that have been selling on eBay for a long time.
Since the beginning.
Consistently.
Yes.
Like, not the people who are like, I had a store in 1997 and I've sold off and on.
And then I stopped.
Which is totally cool. But I think we struggle with how do you maintain an eBay business?
Right. Forever.
Day in, day out.
Till you die.
Week after week.
Yeah.
Year after year, and you stay motivated,
Yeah.
and you stay, you know, interested, and that the numbers still work.
Yep.
I mean, we're doing it, but I feel like that population, is either very slim or they're very quiet.
Yeah.
Because I do not hear from those people.
I mean, there are several people on the forum that are like that.
Right.
But it's not a lot.
Right.
You know, there's a handful.
Yep. But that's kind of where we're at in our business. It's just like, it's kind of like we're always re-upping our enthusiasm. Like, okay, let's keep doing this, you know? And what do we need to change to keep motivated doing it? And I think this is the year we're bringing other people into the business was a thing that kept us interested.
Yeah.
You know?
It kept us interested because it helps offload the day-to-day stuff, and it was kind of hilarious because I gave Christmas cards with bonuses to both my helpers, and you know, the one who takes photos the most. I mean, she was so cute. She gave me a card too, and she was like, "I love working for you guys. It is like so fun every day. I love." She joked around. She's like, "I actually love doing inventory. I think it's great. Like, I love seeing all this stuff." No, she's like, if she wasn't, I'd be like, "What's wrong with you?" Yeah. Like, you know, because I think it's, you know, there's all these weird, interesting, bizarre things, and it makes me laugh. Like, my helper who packs, you know, something will sell, and we'll both look at it, and we'll be like, why did someone buy this? Number one, clearly I bought it to put it on the internet, but somebody actually bought the whatever bizarre thing it is, and it's so fascinating, you know?
And I will say, we've given them a pretty low stress, no drama environment. Most of the time they work by themselves.
Sometimes we're so
play
busy.
Their own music.
Yeah, I gave them a Bluetooth speaker. I'm like, go for it. I'm not even going to work over here.
They're like on the internet, you know. I mean, and it's just a matter of trust.
Like, you're like, just get it done. Ask me questions, I'll answer them.
I wish that I had more jobs.
Yeah, no kidding. Seriously.
Younger. And if people are asking, I think this is an important thing. So we pay, you know, their W-2 employees.
Yeah,
and we pay them
on payroll.
And you know, and people are like, how do I do that? You know, all the paperwork.
Yeah.
We use Square.
I use Square.
Square payroll. If
yeah,
you Google it.
So I don't use Square payments because I don't need that because I'm not like a retail store. But you can do payroll through Square. Right. And it was a little bit difficult to set up like the state tax collection, whatever. But they helped me do it. And once we got through it, it's just...
Right. And they handle paying the state,
the
whatever,
state and the federal taxes.
You know, because we pay, what is it? I forgot, 10%
Yeah, just
of
whatever.
we
Yeah,
contribute to
something.
their Social Security, and and all that stuff is taken care of.
Yeah.
And I think it's $30 a month for that.
It's $30 a month. Yeah.
And so, and I remember when our tax accountant, who we meet with once a year, he's like an older gentleman.
Yeah.
And he was like, "How are you going to do that? I mean, we do bookkeeping and we like do it every month." And I'm like, "Oh, I use this service.
Square, it's $30 a month."
He's like, "You can't beat that."
He's like, that is
like,
the cheapest payroll.
I charge companies,
thousands of dollars to do payroll.
Bookkeeping. So,
well, look, I do our bookkeeping. That's separate, but
right.
yeah. So I think talking about like mental hurdles and like business hurdles, it's like once you do it, you're like, oh.
Why did
I think just the process is hard sometimes. You're like,
sure.
It's uncomfortable. You don't want to think about it. You have all these other things you're trying to do. Right. And then you do it and you're like, that just made my life so much easier. Right. It's unbelievable how much better things are.
I mean, I think that's a good point. I think for us, the reason why sometimes it takes so long for us to get into things is that we have to get into the right state of mind.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to try something, you might as well try it like be fully engaged.
Yeah, like do it.
And do it. So if you're going to hire someone, have full amount of time to train.
Yes, because for over a month,
right, I
would pull stuff and pack stuff with her.
Right.
So it wasn't just like, that's difficult because I'm like, it's a lot of energy. But has it paid off? Absolutely. Yeah. We're here for absolutely. We're here for 2 weeks and I'm just like, this is in this bin, this is here. People are like, hey, when are you shipping this? I'm like, tomorrow. Right. How amazing is that? It's great. So it has to be, I think also too, this is a weird thing to think about, but like there has to be like a pain threshold where like with shipping, because we had and have a huge video contract, and I was so maxed out on time doing that I was like, I do not have time to ship. Like right. I have no time to do this. And that's when you were like, we have to get her to do this. Like it has to happen. So it's like there's a certain amount of pain that has to happen. Pain shouldn't always motivate you, but that was my motivation. I was like, I can't do it all, right. And you can't do it all. And we,
Now, I will say, because again, people probably are like, what does Jay do it all this? I don't pack, I don't train these people. So, yeah, I mean, there's another part of our life that we don't talk about much here, just because this is an eBay podcast, but we renovate properties. And so I'm working with these guys, the electrician.
You're the general contractor.
Right, so like I'm working with them, and I think my contribution to the business is really, I try and support you the best I can and help you get through these moments of hiring people and like, let's think it through. And it works,
I mean, I am very resistant to things like that because it's uncomfortable.
But see, I think that's your strength, is that you are just like, you kind of put your head down and you do it. Yeah. But the danger of that is like burnout and like
major burnout,
depression, self-hatred.
Yeah, wow. This is getting extreme.
But
those are potentials. I'm not saying those happened.
But that's what happens. So,
those are potentials.
And so it's good having other people be like, hey, why don't you get some help? So that's good. Okay. And then the last piece of the pie, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else we'll need to do, is to do our inventory. And this is again relatively a recent thing, several months now. Yeah. We're probably 20% into our inventory.
And it's honestly a lot easier than I thought. I'm like, this is not hard.
The great thing is we now have a process.
Yes.
I think that was the difficult thing, is like, how are we going to, we have 8,000 items in this warehouse. Right. Kind of jumbled, but there is a system here, and now how do we get that into like a numbering system? Yeah. And it wasn't that hard. We just put like labels on the things. People were very, like, people hearing me right now, we really want to thank people who sent us. Yeah. They sent us descriptions. They sent us photos.
Someone like there was like a couple of people that sent us videos. Like,
Where
look at my
they
system.
showed their own inventory system, and even if we didn't copy exactly what they did, they gave us a motivation for us to understand. Oh yeah, this is. We just need to make something that works for us.
Yeah, like what makes sense for our system
now. Yeah. So we're doing that, and that's great. We've talked about. Things are selling now. And
they have a bin number.
And it says in our solds, it'll say like there's a bin number.
It's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm like, where are these 2 salad tongs?
Right.
Oh my god, they're in this bin.
2D022.
And you're like, yes. Oh.
Now I will say, Ryan, so we've built out a system where now all we have to do is go buy stuff. We put them in bins, or we just put them on the floor in a pile
with a bin number.
We have someone take pictures of them. They write the titles and descriptions and all that stuff. We still do have to list.
I do list them because I'm a pricer. I need my prices. That
is the tough thing. Is like is giving up control over pricing when things are just so weird. And then we need to actually get her to put them in inventory. Currently, we're still putting them in inventory.
Well, she'll put it in a bin if I'm like, this is the bin number. But in terms of delicate, weird stuff that just goes on the shelves, we still kind of have to figure that out. Sure. However, I will say this. The other day, there was a basket of delicate items. We knew which shelf it needed to go on. It wanted to go on. And I knew what everything was called because I listed it and I bought it and I knew what she called it. So I was just like, this. It's on shelf 1C. Boom. It took me, I swear to you, like 6 minutes. And I was like, that's all I had to do. I just brought the laptop down to the...
Right.
That was it. It's not like I had to have her figure out where it go. It didn't matter. It was just like, it's on the shelf. That's the number.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be a combination of things, of like us with delicate things being like, it's on the shelf.
Got it. Okay. And then they sell, and then we have someone who will pull it, ship it, confirm delivery, or
listen to this
push
person.
Some buttons.
It's like
and she even goes and puts it on the porch to where the
and puts
post
the
office.
flag up.
I mean, what a life, right?
But yesterday or today, Jay was like, I could not believe he said this. I was like, what? He's like, so does she like input the tracking number so that eBay sees it? I'm like, are you serious right now? No, you print the label off eBay and eBay has the tracking number.
It's a valid.
Oh my god.
So my question to you is, so this video contract we've had for 6 months,
yes,
which has been very nice, is ending.
Yes.
Basically in a week.
Yes.
And that is off of our plate.
Yeah.
And we only have eBay now and then our rentals.
Yeah.
But now all this work is being done by other people. What are you going to do, Ryan? You're going to go... What are you going to
take a nap. Long
No,
nap.
it's good. This is going to be interesting to see what your life will be like without you having to do...
I mean, shipping, it's so funny because when there are a couple days where she couldn't make it, like, near Thanksgiving or whenever, and I was packing stuff and I was like, this really takes a lot of time, actually.
Right.
Like, I'll start doing it and then 2.5 hours later, I'm like, that's a lot of time every single day.
People are like nodding their heads.
They're like, yeah, no kidding. But like, for so long, I'm like, it's not that much time. But if you're like us and you're insane and you're like buying china and glassware, it takes longer,
right.
because you don't want stuff to break. I mean, we talked about this yesterday. We are like, well, shoot, we're going to have a lot more time to actually go sourcing.
Right.
Like, but so our video contract hadn't started until the summertime, but before that we were renovating and decorating and starting an Airbnb from scratch.
Yep.
So that was taking up a lot of our time.
Yep. But so I mean, we
Yeah, so-
are. So we're about to start on one when we get back. We're
It's
trying
never
to.
ending.
We're trying to do another one in the next 6 months.
What-
Basically, renovate.
When you say another one, you mean
business.
Yeah, it's a retail space.
Right.
It's not an Airbnb.
Right. It's a business, and it's going to be really tough.
Yeah,
I mean, make
this
no
is
mistake.
not.
Like,
Well,
this
that's
is
why
no
it's
joke.
funny when
Yeah.
you're like, "What are you going to do with your time?" I'm like, "I don't know. We're literally starting
But
another business."
It would be nice if we did get back to
Yeah.
getting more inventory like we
Yeah.
used to.
Because we did. I mean, we do well at auctions. I mean,
Yeah.
if you are prepared, that they can be fun
Right.
sometimes.
I
I know
love
you,
them.
you love them. I struggle.
I'm in love with them.
I struggle with
Yeah.
them, but I love getting inventory from those places because it's unique. It can be high end. You get a lot of stuff at one fell swoop,
Right.
not like going to
Treasures.
it. Yeah, like you just get a whole truckload, and so hopefully we'll have a
So,
little more time.
Are
for
you
that.
pumped about 2020 right now?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. So this week on eBay, we had a pretty decent week. We sold 43 items.
What? A lot of it were low dollar.
Yeah. But I mean,
Lowish.
our average price was about $30,
Okay.
$29.96.
That's not bad.
And we made $1,288. You know, pays the bills. Like, again, keep chugging along.
Yeah.
Things we sold. I mean, we just sold so much random stuff. It was great. The highest dollar item was this like candlestick or candelabra.
Candle. Yeah.
For $200, $210.
Yes.
Pretty
it was
nice.
silver. I think it was silver plated, but it was made in Denmark. It was fancy. I have 2 of them.
And we sold a number of items that we have had for so
For
long.
literally some of the, like one of them I was like, I've had this
Like
for
which-
10 years.
Which one?
That scarf.
Yeah, that's right.
10 years.
How about that, like a wooden game? It's like a
Oh
little
my,
tilt
that,
game.
that hasn't been too long. It was a labyrinth. That hasn't been too long, but still, a while.
It's been pretty long.
Yeah.
Okay, how about that owl chocolate
Oh
wall hanging?
my god!
We've had that forever, and it sold for $23. Hey, why
Oh
not?
my god!
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Some clothes, a little. We sold these like a woven pink placemats,
Those were so funny.
and they sold for $40.
Those were really cute, and they took forever to sell. And
Yeah.
I was so happy when they sold because every time I go in that bin, whichever bin they're in, I have to like move them out of the way. I'm like, oh, these things. So I love it when stuff like that sells. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, and some people on the forum were complaining about like people not paying and like.
I haven't had that problem in a while. Oh, except last week.
This week we had one
I
guy.
did.
You know, it was one of those things where did he send us an offer or we sent him an offer?
He sent us an offer.
And so it was $100.
I was like, great. And he was like, I'm a student and I can't
Yeah.
pay a lot for this, but I'm really excited. No payment.
No payment.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Gone.
It's
Disappeared.
True. It's true.
You
So,
weirdo.
Anyway,
Yeah.
decent scavenge of the week. So we haven't done any scavenging this week. We did find a couple things on the street. Just we were going to a store and
Some
we
books.
found some books that look kind of cool. Some Warhammer books.
I have literally no clue what that is.
Warhammer.
Wait, is Warhammer like D&D?
Yep, basically.
You nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's, I scan it though. I mean, because it's a new.
It's not vintage.
It's not vintage, so there's a lot of them. So
Well, whatever.
$10, but it's fun.
It's free.
Yep. Customer issues, none.
I mean, other than that non-payment, I have one return on a hat because someone was like, it was used. I'm like, literally everything in my store is used.
Everything says
And
it's
it
used.
says it, and it shows all the wear.
So on the forum, Aperture was saying that he does not sell clothes anymore because he was so sick and tired of people sending clothes back for fit.
Dude, I hear you. Oh, for fit?
Yeah, I mean, he was saying for fit, So I mean, he's like, it doesn't matter how many descriptions
It doesn't
and
matter.
measurements. And I really think, though, my hypothesis is just like sites like Amazon and all these retail sites have taught people. I mean, they even say it in their advertisements. buy this stuff or order it, try it on, and then
Return
send
it.
it back. You know, so order 20 things,
Yep.
keep one thing, and send the rest back. And these sites
And
seem okay with that. So it's just until websites, still businesses, stop, you know, supporting that kind of, you know, activity, it's going to keep happening.
Yeah, that's just what it is right now, and forever probably. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know the answer. I mean, it's funny because someone on the forum was saying this. I don't know if this is on your outline, but it's similar to anybody who, mostly on Amazon. Amazon is a essentially no risk purchase.
Yeah. I mean, that's why people feel comfortable buying there.
And retail stores have fallen in line. You go back to Walmart with no receipt, and they're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Here's money.
Someone, a scavenger, sent me a video about kind of an expose of what happens to a lot of the returns that go back to places like Amazon. I mean, I know we all know some of it gets like, you know, put up in like gaylords or crates and gets sold off in auctions, but they destroy a lot of that inventory because it's I guess it's more cost effective than trying to get it back into the inventory.
Like, and it's too expensive.
And there are factories just pumping this stuff out, so it's like they don't have room. And it showed, I remember one part of the video was like a bulldozer.
Just crushing
CDs. They were just like going back and forth, just destroying.
I don't know if it was the same video, but it wasn't Walmart, it was Disney. They had I think it was Disney. They had all these like action figures for some special launch or something. And they're like, yeah, we didn't need all these. So they literally put them through a grinder. They weren't like, let's just sell them on Amazon later. Because they're like, it's going to dilute our brand or whatever. And it's so horrific.
Someone was on the forum in the past month where they were like, yeah, I went by like a Dick's Sporting Goods or something. And I looked in the garbage, and there were like all these like soccer balls, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And he got them, and he took them home, and they had cut them, they had
razor bladed them.
So,
man, that is just like
it's just it just shows how. Don't
shop at those places. That's not gonna fix anything.
It just shows how crazy. I mean, you know, like I really have always been, you know, like we'll get questions like, why do we do this podcast? Like, we're not making money off of this. Like, we're not YouTube stars, like making millions of dollars, which I wish it should be nice. You know,
great, like that 8-year-old.
Like, we appreciate people sending us some like Christmas money, and we like go out to eat. It's awesome. It was like a great dinner. But like, this isn't making us money. We're doing really this just because it's fun.
Look, I want to talk to you people.
Yeah, I think, and also we really believe like in that this world is full of abundance. Like there is so much stuff. It is not, we don't come at the world like there's scarcity.
Right.
Like there's only a couple things out there. We have to be real quiet and don't tell anyone, and we're fighting over things. There's just so much stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much stuff, they're like throwing stuff away and destroying it because,
I mean, I don't think it should be like that, but...
So, I mean, that's why I get excited that there are more and more people like us who are scavenging and selling online, like, you know. And the worst that happens is, like, people stop wasting stuff.
Right. And it's, exactly.
And maybe it might make our reseller business a little bit more difficult, but what a world that would be.
Yeah,
that'd be so great, you know. That would be so good.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's my Christmas message.
Yeah.
We do not have any calls for this week.
I didn't see any calls.
So everyone's been perfect. Perfect customers, perfect stores. eBay has been perfect.
No glitches.
It's great. Hey.
Yeah, except we're probably going to talk about what we learned in the forum. So I'm sure people are talking. I do want to mention one thing, which I was looking for the forum post, and for some reason I couldn't find it on my very own forum, which is not a good thing. Someone said the post office might be closed the day before Christmas, but I can't find any documentation of that online.
On eBay or online?
On anywhere, like on USPS.
So Trump did make an executive order
that
where he made the day before Christmas a federal holiday.
So I can't find anywhere online that says the post office will not be open because I need to know if I can ship that day.
That's a good question.
Someone on the forum said yes, but I didn't see a link
Right.
to like the post office being like, we're closed everywhere.
I see what you're saying. You are okay. So
if anyone has that information,
yeah, actually, I'm doing a quick blah blah blah. Okay, no.
it's old.
So he did the same thing in 2018,
Okay.
and what it says here. So I don't know if it's the same way. That it is a federal holiday, so
Okay.
federal employees.
Okay.
However, the post office will still open on Christmas Eve and deliver mail. So we would need to probably, double check that.
Okay, good. Because basically, I'm like, I need to know if I should put mail out that day, which I really want to.
Yeah.
Me, my helper.
Yeah, I think we should. I mean,
Yeah.
also, what we could do is call the post office.
Oh my God.
Our local post
Pick
office.
up the phone.
They're like, "Hi, Ryan. How are you?"
Yeah, basically.
So yeah, but that Ryan, I'm glad you said that because I just assumed that it would be closed, but I think you're right. The post office is not included in the federal employees.
Although usually it is.
Yeah.
But So that was confusing.
Everyone called their post office.
Everyone
and figure
check
out for themselves
because it is really nice to be able to ship stuff the day before because obviously Christmas is a holiday, so stuff's not going to go out then.
Yep. Anyway, we thank everyone that has been hanging out in 2019 with us.
Yeah.
And guess what happens? It's just another day tomorrow. And it's
another day.
Year next
Another
year.
year.
So, and if you have started a store and you've stuck to it, I mean, congratulations. It's a big deal. I have no idea the percentages, but I bet the majority of people that start selling on eBay and think they're going to do it as like a kind of a continuous thing don't keep at it because it's it's a lot. It's not difficult,
Right.
but it's not easy.
Right. So it's not. I was talking to someone who emailed me. Sometimes people just email me directly. Same with Jay. And I was like, it's not hard to do this, but it takes persistence.
Right.
You have to keep at it.
Right. Like no one detail is like a deal breaker.
Yeah.
It's just when all the details are mixed together and have to happen in a certain order is when I think a lot of people are just like,
it's too much.
I don't want to do that. So,
Yeah. Yep. Look, I get it.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for being with us. You can check out our blog at scavengerlife.com and the forum we always talk about, scavengerlife.com/forum. You can leave a question or comment. We'd love to hear. Again, if you're someone have sold on eBay for a long time, continuously, like this is your business that pays your bills, I'd love to hear from you. I mean, how do you keep motivated doing it? You can call us at 540-407-8486.
Or you can email us an audio file.
Yep.
Our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com.
And you have this podcast today to thank to Ryan Hodson. I woke up this morning and I was like, we never skip doing podcasts. Like, let's just take the day off and just...
I was like, what?
And Ryan was like, no, let's do it.
Look, when I want to take a break is when things are busy and crazy and we're traveling and blah, blah. We're like just chilling. We went to a movie at 11 a.m. I'm like...
10 a.m. It was
I'm sorry, 10 a.m.
Oh, I love it. A morning meeting. A morning movie.
Morning movie. Yeah, so I was like, this is the most chill day ever. Totally do a podcast.
So we post this episode every Monday morning, and on Wednesdays, our friend Stevie sends us a video, and we post it on our site on Wednesdays, where he shows the things he sold.
I want to just mention this because we get questions about this all the time. When people are like, it was the whole subject of last week's podcast. How do I go from a rookie to a veteran? And the answer is watch every single one of those videos.
Yeah.
It's like watching Antiques Roadshow.
Right.
You're just like, I need to absorb this into my brain so that when I'm out in the wild, I'm like, oh, That's a thing. That's a thing that I never would have known about. And you know what? People say that all the time about his videos and my old videos that I used to make. They say I would never have known to get that at this estate sale if I hadn't seen that like Steve Schultz sold it. Say that 10 times fast. So that is my advice for the new year. Go watch all those videos.
Yeah, I mean, like, those are good videos to watch because they're full of, like, real packed info.
Yeah.
And not just, like, people.
It's not a haul video. It's a sold video.
And you got to be careful when you go online because, you know, it's less about motivation and more about, like, true information.
True info. Research.
Yep. Okay. That is it. We're going to be done. Okay.
Sell trash. Be free, Jay.
Okay, this podcast is ending in
3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Bye.